In this episode, you may want to know what turns me on, but I want to tell you about overtraining, and is overtraining possible?
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 269 of the Daily Mother Swole. Click, 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 cranking up the biceps. Welcome to most muscular, the most swole-tascular podcast in the realm. When I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. Gorilla grunts and testosterone all around. Welcome to Motivation Monday. Welcome to the Gain Train. Welcome to Boston fucking Mass. Welcome to episode 269. It's Monday, and there is no shortage of caffeine in Casa de Swole Gains. Casa de Swole Gains. This intro is getting longer and longer because there are just more and more names. I feel like, one of those boxers or people that come out, wrestlers that just has 20 freaking names, the master of disaster. I am Papa Swole fucking Normous. I am your host. So if you are joining me for the first time, thank you for joining me. Welcome on Facebook Live every day at 12 noon Eastern Time. Thanks for catching me on YouTube. Over 700 videos on YouTube of all different sorts, vlogs and all that good stuff. So if you haven't checked out my YouTube, check that out. And thank you to everyone that is getting ear raped right now on SoundCloud and iTunes with all the Swole-tastic gains. Today's episode 269. It's a Monday, so we got a bunch of layers being packed onto this episode. Everyone is starting their week. You're taking your lunch break. You are starting day one or whatever you want to call it. However you organize your schedule. Today is your Monday. Today is your day one. Today you are back to the proverbial grind. But like we've talked about before, Monday is just another day. It's just another day, just another time, just another 24 hours for you to kick some fucking ass. So wipe that slate clean, wipe that brain plate clean of this Monday, Tuesday bullshit. It's another period of time, sunrise to sunset, where you can get some fucking gains and you can make yourself a better person, be nice to other people, do what makes you happy. Today, this episode is great. It's overtraining. It's about overtraining, but is overtraining possible? Is it even possible? We've talked about overtraining in the past, and today is another episode about overtraining. Overtraining, is it possible? Is overtraining possible? And what is overtraining? Well, the reason why some people believe that overtraining, too much training, is possible, and some people believe that overtraining is not possible, that there's no such thing as overtraining, is because most people don't even know what the fuck overtraining is. There is not one definition. There are many, many, many guidelines to overtraining. And if you look at it in a multidimensional form, because that's what it is. If you look at overtraining, what it is, and not what you think it is, and not what just the word is, because when you look at the word, let's look at that, overtraining, training too much. I mean, could that be any more vague? Could that be any more subjective to the person, right? I mean, if you work out regularly, if you've been working out for 10, 15 years, like myself, working out 4, 5, or 6 days a week is not overtraining, because you're segmenting body parts, you're doing certain rest days, you're doing certain in-between days, certain muscles on certain days, you're breaking up your workout split, so it's not overtraining. Then you take someone that has never worked out before and you throw them in the gym for a resistance training program 5 or 6 days a week, and they are going to get flat out destroyed, super sore, and possibly injured, and you could say that is overtraining. So it's relative to the person, it's relative to your experience, it's relative to your goals. It's relative to the time you have available to spend in the gym, because some people can't even spend 5 or 6 days. Even if you wanted to, you don't have 5 or 6 days to spare. You only have maybe 2 or 3. And I get people messaging me all the time, well, how do I build muscle? I have a family, I'm busy, I only have 3 days a week to work out. What can I do? What should I do, Papa Swole fucking Normous, that will get me the most results in 3 days' time? So someone like that, Doesn't mean that you can't overtrain in 3 days. It just means maybe you're more limited in the amount of exposure, but it doesn't mean you can't overtrain. Okay? It doesn't mean you can't overtrain. This is really important. So make sure you share the broadcast. You also tag someone in the comments. And I appreciate all the support. I get a lot of messages, actually, more than you would imagine. How do I support you? I love the show. I love what you're doing. You could share the broadcast, tag someone in the comments, and bring more people in. That's the best way that you can help support the Daily Swole. So I appreciate that. I see it pop up below when it says someone shares, and I really do appreciate it. So thank you so much. This is really important because there is this illusion that overtraining is just going to the gym too often. And that is very black and white when it comes to something like that, something that's so subjective depending on the person, depending on experience. The mistake is to assume that overtraining is the same for everyone, when it's absolutely not. Overtraining is different for everyone. There's physiological effects of overtraining, there's psychological effects of overtraining, and there's also physical effects of overtraining. So you absolutely 150% can overtrain. It just depends drastically from one person to the next. You might see someone that works out. Man, this person's worked out for 10 days straight and they're still going strong. Everyone's different. Either they are completely disconnected from their feelings and they're ignoring their body's warning signs to slow down and they might crash in the next couple of weeks, or maybe they have certain adaptations and their body has adapted and can handle a lot more stress than yours can. And this also changes as you get older. As you start aging and your body starts recovering slower, you have to adjust your training output. And I have done that myself. I have done that, in my 30s. Now I train differently than I did when I was in my 20s. And that's also because it's not that, I'm an old man. It's because I have all those extra years of resistance training and wear and tear on my body. When I first started training, if I was 18 or 19, you're new, everything's fresh. But after 10, 13, 14, 15 years of resistance training and lifting heavy weights and being sore and recovering, your body has compounded stress and scar tissue and just wear and tear, and you can't lift as much as long. You can't go crazy. I used to be up all night and be studying in college and get no sleep and then go to the gym and hit like a new, squat max. And I don't do that shit anymore. If I'm up really late, I don't get sleep, fuck it, I'm not working out today. I'm taking a day off. I'm tired. You start realizing a little bit more about how your body works. You start being a little smarter about it, and you don't recover as quick. You have to be more wise, and that's why I always promote yoga. But let's get back on track, because we'll come back to yoga. We'll come back to recovery. You have to listen to your body. Everyone is so different, and it's so subjective. You have to listen to your body. You have to listen to what your body is telling you. If your body is telling you need rest, then you should rest. If your body is like, I don't feel like going to the gym, but come on, I got to go today. I just got to push. I got to grind through it. And you have a great workout. So you have to know when your body is saying rest. You have to know when your body is just being a pussy and like, no, you got to work out today. We got to grind, and you got to go. And then you have a great workout. So there are times when you need to take off, and there are times when you need to suck it up, buttercup, and fucking push. But you have to understand which of those signs are which, and you have to learn what your body, and sometimes you'll get it wrong. You won't feel like working out. Be like, I just got to go anyway. You'll go and you'll just feel sluggish and bleh. You kind of go through the motions and you think back, man, I should have just taken a day off. This was kind of a waste. And it happens. You're not going to get it right all the time, but you have to learn that, and you get better and better the more you are aware and you listen. You need self-awareness. You need to pay attention. Here's some of the signs of overtraining. This is not limited to these things, but I just want to show you the breadth of what can be a sign of overtraining. You might just think, I'm going to be tired. It's not just tired. There are certain other issues and certain other symptoms that could come from overtraining. It's not limited to these. There are many, many, many more, and it depends on the person. And I'll explain a little bit about how I work and my personal ones, and then we can get something going in the comments, where I want everyone to post up below in the comments here, and we'll get a little conversation going later here on Facebook when I read through the comments what your signs or symptoms of overtraining is. So let's go through a couple of the general ones. I'll talk about me, and then I want to hear about what you have to say on Facebook, what your personal issues are and when you notice that you're overtraining. Number one could be lack of sleep or quality of sleep. If you're tossing and turning, if you have trouble falling asleep, or if you're feeling really groggy and sluggish waking up, if your sleep starts getting irregular, sleep patterns start getting a little bit funky, they start falling apart, you have issues, let's say you're just quality of sleep, like let's say you're waking up a lot in the middle of the night, or you have trouble falling asleep, that could be an issue. Loss of appetite. Believe it or not, loss of appetite. I mean, if you're someone like myself and you're hungry all the time and you have no problem eating, but all of a sudden you start just stop feeling as hungry, stop feeling, you don't desire food as much. That could easily be a sign of overtraining, that you're working too hard. And one of the reasons for that is when your body is in extreme damage mode. Hormone processes in the body, and hormones are just messengers, chemical messengers. They get reabsorbed, they get blocked, their release becomes altered, and certain hormones that would get released when you're hungry might not get absorbed or get released when they should, and it becomes more irregular. So your body systems start functioning differently or functioning poorly, so your appetite can also be depressed, or you just might not feel as hungry. You could also be depressed. You could have mood swings. You can get angry easily. Let's say you just get irritated really quickly. Let's say you're getting really sad. You have just like mood swings, kind of up and down. You just don't understand. Your emotions are kind of getting away from you. If you're a dude, kind of like getting your man period, you might be overtraining. You could be just physically exhausted and worn down, and that's a warning sign. Elevated heart rate. This is really popular, something to check for people that do a lot of cardiovascular. If you're a runner, if you're a long-distance runner, you do marathons or triathlons, a great way to measure heart rate is when you wake up, before getting out of bed, you measure your resting heart rate. While you're lying down, you take your heart rate before you get up out of bed. And whether you're lying down or sitting up, you take your heart rate first thing in the morning when you wake up. If your heart rate starts elevating and is elevated for about 3 days consistently in a row, that's a sign that your body is struggling to recover, that you're not resting enough. And it's a sign that you can start backing off your training and deload a little bit and allow your body to kind of balance out and kind of even out a little bit. And elevated heart rate is common. It's a common test because when you do endurance training, you measure your heart rate a lot and you gauge your heart rate, your VO2 max and so forth. And heart rate recovery and all those types of measurements when you do real intense type of endurance training. And elevated heart rate is one of those signs that could be for overtraining, so something to pay attention to. Also, soreness. If you're sore, if you train your biceps, if you take the gun show on the road and you're getting really sore, but you're sore longer than normal. Let's say you're always sore for a day or two, and for some reason it's lingering and you're just not recovering the way you normally do. That is a sign of overtraining. Doesn't mean you are overtraining, but if it's chronic soreness and you're just not recovering the way you normally do or the way you're used to, something's off, and it might mean you need to step back a little bit. Strength. If you're in the gym and your lifts are starting to go down, you're losing strength, and it's not just one day, because you're going to feel up and down from day to day. But if it's consistent, if you're just like your strength is decreasing, or you're not as strong, you're not increasing the way you normally do, you're not lifting as much as you have been the past couple of weeks, you're just kind of hitting that plateau or you're sinking down a little bit, it could mean that you're not recovering as much and you need to step back your training a little bit. It's possible. It's possible. But remember, you always have those days where you're kind of in and out, and sometimes you might just have a shitty day. You didn't sleep a lot or you didn't eat properly and whatnot. And, you might just not be super strong one day. Doesn't mean that you're overtraining. And my favorite, and I say my favorite because this is what I have. I know when I'm overtraining, when I need to step off, when I do some more yoga, when I need to sit around and do nothing and recover, is when I lose motivation. Personally, when I lose motivation, that is Papa Swolenormous's main glaring alarm. When I don't feel like working out, whether it's for one day, whether it's for a couple days, if I lose motivation and interest, I just don't feel like, I'm like, I don't feel like working out. Something's wrong. Either I'm not sleeping, I'm not eating right, I'm training too hard, because it doesn't mean that you're training too often. You might be training fine the way you always have. You might not be sleeping enough. You might not be eating properly. So you're not recovering from your workouts because you're not eating the foods that are fueling those workouts. You're not sleeping to recover. It doesn't mean that you have to stop working out as often. I mean, you might have to back off so you can come out of this funk and so you can recover better, but it might not be based on the actual training itself. You might not be doing things that are wrong in the gym. You might not be doing too much training in a given week. You just might not be doing things outside the gym that are complementing that training. So understand that it's not just, you're benching too much. No, it could be you're not drinking enough water. So you're feeling sluggish and your soreness is lingering, your strength is going down, your heart rate's going up because you have less fluid in your system and you're not sleeping well, and you could have issues because of dehydration. You could have issues because you're not eating properly. You could have issues because you're not sleeping properly. So these things can all lead to overtraining. And the issue with sleep, the issue with hydration, the issue with nutrition is, even if you're not working out that much, if you're not giving your body the proper fuel, you can overtrain just by living, by being alive. If you're not giving your body the necessary the basics just to function properly, you could be just overtraining with minimal exercise because you're not even giving your body the basics of just normal life. So when you're training, understand that you're giving your body a lot of stress. You're putting your body under a lot of duress, and you need to complement that with proper nutrition, sleep, and diet, and so forth. So that's my main kicker. And I want you to comment below. I want you guys that are watching live, and if you catch this after it's live, I want you to comment below. Comment below, obviously, in the comments. Write down what your sign is. When you're overtraining, what do you feel? When do you take off? When do you back off from the gym? I want to hear it in the comments below. So write that down right now if you're watching this live, and if you're catching this later on. You can even comment on YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube. You can even comment on SoundCloud and iTunes if you can even comment on iTunes. But wherever you're watching this, make sure you comment, but you can also join the conversation on Facebook. But on Facebook, at Swolenormous, of course, and if you're watching this live, comment below and let me know what your sign for overtraining is. When do you back off? And if you are overtraining, if that comes up, what should you do? Take a day off, rest, foam roll, do yoga. Here is the main thing I want you to think of, and you could write this on the fucking wall. You won't lose your progress. Believe it or not, you won't lose your progress. And I used to be just like that. Bros and hoes, I used to be just like that, ladies and gentlemen. I used to feel like I would lose all my fucking gains if I didn't work out. If I didn't go to the gym, oh man, I would lose my progress, I'd lose my flow, I'd lose my momentum. I would go every day, at a point. And then you realize you take a day off, you're recovering when you're not in the gym. You're destroying yourself, you're damaging yourself in the gym. You want to build muscle? Then you aren't in the gym when you're building muscle. You're at home when you're eating. And if you want to think about building muscle, if that's really important to you, then the gym is not where it's happening. The gym is not where it's happening. You're not building muscle in the gym. You're damaging, you're causing stress, you're causing trauma. You're tearing the muscle tissue up, you're damaging yourself. So if you want to focus on, and if you want to get your shit together, you need to focus on your diet and nutrition. You need to focus on your sleep. You need to focus on your water intake. You want to bulk up. You want to get big. It happens when you're at home. You damage it in the gym and you repair when you're at home. So whenever you're not in the gym is when you're making those sick fucking gains. So if you want to, open your eyes to really how to make more progress, you got to take what you do outside the gym a lot more seriously, because that's when you're making all of your progress. If you want to think about it that way. Of course, the gym is important. Of course, what you do in the gym is important. But outside is when you're repairing. So if you're not taking care of your shit outside, you're going to overtrain. You're not going to be able to repair as much, and you're going to have all these issues like I listed and more. So make sure you pay attention to your body. Everyone is different. Don't let anyone fucking tell you that you're working out too much, or, don't let anyone tell you that. You might think about it. I think you should reassess. You should look at it from an outside point of view. But don't let anyone tell you that you're overtraining. You have to look at yourself. Are you overtraining? Keep a journal. How do you feel in the morning? How's your mood feel? Are you recovering properly? Are you sore? Are you injured? Are you getting injured a lot? Are you doing the same body parts every day? How are those body parts holding up? Is your strength increasing? Is it decreasing? Are you hungry? Are you moody? Think about the quality of your sleep. Think about everything. But don't let anyone tell you that you're doing it wrong, because it might not be wrong for you, just wrong for them. But they might honestly care about you and be looking out for your best interests. But don't let anyone tell you that you're doing it wrong. You need to listen to your body and figure that out for yourself. Listen, pay attention, and analyze. Always, always, always be analyzing and listening to your body. Listen to what it tells you. And if you need rest, then rest. If you need yoga, do yoga. And if you need to hit the gym like a fucking animal, then hit the gym like a fucking animal. Thank you for joining me for episode 269 of the Daily Mother Swole. That's your Monday motivation for today. When I flex, you flex. We all flex our biceps. Thank you for catching this Swolecast, the most muscular fucking podcast in the realm. Thanks for listening on SoundCloud and iTunes, watching on YouTube, and catching me live every day at 12 noon Eastern Time on Facebook at Swolenormous. Make sure that you're commenting below. I want to hear what everyone looks out for personally. I want to hear what you notice in your body, physiologically, psychologically, and physically, when you start overtraining? What's your warning sign? I want you to comment below. And everyone that's in my private paid accountability group, I want you to be there at 1 p.m. Eastern time in Swolenormous Premium. If you are looking for a little bit extra, if you want to know how to apply all this knowledge in the Daily Swole, go over program design, get some extra motivation, workout videos, nutritional guidance, and a great fucking community, you could sign up today, Swolenormous Premium. You can go to my website, swolenormous.com, to sign up for Swolenormous Premium. And I will see everyone in Premium at 1 p.m. Eastern time for this week's accountability meeting. Peace out, everyone. I'll catch you on Instagram, Snapchat, all around the interwebs, and possibly later for a Q&A. So make sure you turn on live notifications so you can catch all the sick fucking gains. Peace out. Later. I'll see y'all tomorrow for 2:70.